All right, hey everybody, this is Ian Cross, Head of Product for Lace, and I'm here with Rhys and Michael here, and we are really excited we're at Token 2049, really excited to be talking about Lace, the future of Lace, how we're expanding into other ecosystems, how we're becoming multi-chain, multi-platform. It should be fun. We're just going to have a conversation. Let's first start by introducing ourselves. So, again, my name is Ian Cross, Head of Product for Lace. I've been with Lace for about 2 years now, but been in Web3 and sort of the related space for I guess better part of a decade now. Rhys, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, it's really great to be here. I'm head of technology for Lace. Been here now for 7 years at IO, and we started off with the Daedalus product, and now Lace being the sort of path forward for the Light wallet, and as we'll probably talk about later on as well, now moving into full node capabilities with Lace as well.
Awesome.
Hi, and I'm Michael. I'm the engineering manager for Lace. I've been with IO for 4 years now. Always wallet products, zero Web3 background before this.
All right, awesome. So this is going to be kind of a free-form conversation today. I've got some questions that'll keep us on track, basically, and that's I've got a list here, but otherwise, we're going to talk about Lace. We're going to gripe about Lace. We're going to talk about other wallets, the ecosystem in general. Should be fun. Don't hold us too accountable for what we're saying because it's all on the cuff, off the cuff. Let's just maybe start with. I guess let's start with what we're excited about, and we can each talk about maybe one or two things that we're excited about from Lace in general. I certainly have a few things that I want to discuss, but maybe we can. Rhys, do you want to start with, I guess, what you're excited about, what's coming next with Lace?
Yeah. I mean, Lace up to this point has been a single focus on Cardano web experience. I'm most excited about the move now into 2 additional dimensions, more blockchains, more platforms. That just really opens up the accessibility to our users, to the whole ecosystem.
And when you say multi-platforms, I mean, just to be clear, we're talking about. I mean, Lace right now is exclusive to desktop, to an extension.
Right.
And I mean, we are desperate to get out the mobile wallets, which is a really exciting V2 experience, right? So Lace is right now, there are a lot of amazing features in Lace. It's the wallet that we've come to love in Cardano. It has all the sort of core features that you'd come to expect in a Web3 wallet. But going to V2, this multi-platform, then multi-chain, it's this new platform that enables us to partner with a bunch of partner with new partners, with new organizations, different integrations, different dApps, things like that. So I think that's something that we should all be really excited about. At least I am.
It's a much bigger reach.
That too.
In every angle.
I mean, everyone's got a phone in their pocket, right? It's. I will say that I think we've been focused on some really cool tech that we've put into Lace in the past, and I think now we're saying, okay, well, let's double down on what the user is really interested in, and let's go back to, okay, well, everyone's got a phone and their wallet. How do we make this a really seamless experience when people are grabbing a cup of coffee, or when they're going to the store, or some of these really cool potential Lace ID, or some of these like KYC, self-sovereign identity sort of use cases in the real world. So I got sidetracked. I'm sorry, Rhys.
No, and it's a challenge, isn't it, to try and fit this sort of bigger experience now into a smaller form factor as well. I wonder, how do you feel about this in terms of that design challenge?
That's a great question. It's actually really exciting because we get to look at it with fresh eyes, and we get to take this product that has been around for a while and say, okay, well, how do we rethink, onboarding, right? Take Lace V1 in its current extension form. It's actually a pretty slow onboarding process, and it takes a while. Like, if we wanted to, at Token2049, if we wanted to go up to a booth and take our Lace wallet, well, first of all, it's not on a mobile, but let's pretend like we're on.
If you were
mobile
carrying
right
your
now.
laptop around with you.
Exactly. We're not carrying our laptops around, and honestly, this is something that is a bit embarrassing. So we're trying to catch up quickly there. But let's say that a vending machine or some kind of interactive DApp or booth is asking you to create a wallet and then immediately receive an airdrop or something like that. You don't want to spend 10 minutes going through your recovery passphrase. Maybe you want to just do something quickly, and then later when you get home, then that's when you take some of the extra security measures. So, to answer your question, I think it gives us an opportunity to revisit a lot of those flows, and we get to just have Lace be more in the 21st century and think about, what are the most modern sort of apps that you use, and how can Lace compete with them, and be up to. I mean, you've spent a ton of time thinking about these really nice glossy effects and some of these animations. Like, how do those? And I mean, it's nice when you think about it. It's like, oh, that animation is really nice, or that swiping to another page is really nice. But what does that mean for the user experience if you take all of those together?
Well, I think the Lace V1 as the browser extension did a fantastic job making a very intuitive layout. V2, the big steer was sort of mobile-first architecture.
Yep.
So my background before joining input-output was mobile design. So we took those principles and applied that forwards. And I guess the gloss that you're talking about, like that's the last layer on top.
Right.
And if you can have that layer of gloss where everything feels seamless, then that's great.
Because you don't want people thinking about the animations, right? You just want it to feel just part of their wallet, part of their phone, part of their experiences, right?
Yeah, like what's the adage? Like really, like bad design will get you talked about. Nobody talks about good design.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it feels.
Yeah.
Well, it's obvious.
Yeah.
Some of that has come from like us doing our homework, but a lot comes from events like this where I get to talk to people, see what's really important to them. So like haptics on a phone, I never really thought were that important. Like it's a button press.
Right.
Until I had a long chat with someone that said, yeah, but
Yeah.
like it's that little dopamine hit when you send a transaction and then it vibrates in your pocket.
I can give you my address, by the way, if you feel like you need that dopamine hit, and you need to just send me assets every time you get a little. So, how do you feel about that?
We'll see.
We'll see. Okay, fair enough.
We'll see.
Okay, well, what about something that you're excited about? I think Rhys and I were talking about that a little bit, but how about you for V2?
Me, I mean, I've been banging the mobile drum for 18 months at this point.
When
so
mobile?
Yeah.
You got a
finally
tattoo on your forehead?
Bringing that to fruition is something that I'm really excited about. We talked about the reach. So the multi-chain is a way to get into tons of different ecosystems, but creating like the mobile product as the first name out of anyone's mouth.
Right.
Like that's the part that I'm really interested by. To do that, you have to hit all of the quality sort of aspects that you're looking for. You have to have everything that people are looking for, which is like it's so hard in like a blockchain context to have something that like it's not just an app. It also needs to be a browser extension. So the design needs to be elastic. It needs to be aware of desktop capabilities, whatever security stuff I've got on my phone, and be the best in class at so many things.
Right.
That like it's a massive challenge. I think I was going to say that's what keeps me up at night, but that's what gets me up in the morning also.
So you're 24/7 on the Lace team, is that what you're saying?
Non-stop.
Okay, great. Brandon Wolf, our GM, if you're listening to this, Michael is stressed 24/7. Okay.
In a good way.
In a good way.
Like
Oh
good.
yeah. That's the.
Yeah.
Good. It's a good stress.
I'll take a break when we launch.
When
this.
we launch mobile. Yeah. I think much of our Discord and X community will appreciate that because, hey, we hear you when you say when mobile, and also we say it all the time. We're working hard to get to that. And actually, maybe you could talk a little bit about the team that's working on mobile, which could be interesting because that kind of plays into the office opening in Argentina, and maybe you can give a shout out to those guys.
Yeah, this year was I guess a new thing for us completely. We opened a physical office.
Yep.
down in Buenos Aires. We have we've got a whole team working there in I think what the old Google office in downtown Buenos Aires.
Yeah.
Catalina.
Okay,
Yeah.
that one.
Catalinas.
Yeah, so those guys have been with us since late March, maybe April, definitely. So we're looking at 6 months by sort of end of November, and whilst we had a good amount of skills developing browser extensions, which was new to most of the team when we started this project, and a good amount of domain experience with the blockchain side, specifically Cardano side. Mobile's a whole different experience, so we wanted to make sure that we had specialists in this area. So, patting ourselves on the back a little bit, we've gone and hired a fantastic team of mobile experts who are relentlessly working on this at the moment for the V2 launch.
Awesome. And the space itself is great. I mean, we were actually just talking to Diego, who had organized a midnight hackathon in the LACE Buenos Aires, or the IO Buenos Aires office. It's a great space for these partnerships and people to come work. It's a kind of a co-working space now, and I think it's also part of this overall LACE strategy that we keep talking about of opening up the borders. We're not just Cardano. We are all of these different chains, and we are. I mean, right now LACE is Bitcoin plus Cardano. We're imminently going to be launching on the Midnight Network, and so, we want more of those hackathons. Like, come join us there. This is absolutely a plug for anybody who's trying to build a quick plug. Anyone who's trying to build on LACE or wants to partner with us, or is in LATAM. If we want to, especially Buenos Aires, if you guys want to come by and hang out with the crew or talk about future opportunities, yes, definitely check us out.
It is a great example of the sort of openness of the system and the ecosystem,
right?
Really, as
yeah,
well,
exactly.
because that initiative, was born out of the spirit of that local community, and LACE is, an open source product. Anyone can fork it. Anyone can contribute upstream, and we're welcoming contributions to the point where we're looking for coordination and cooperation with other builders in the space to we're not gatekeepers in this sense, that we're here to try and promote openness in the future of the systems that we're building.
Nice. I think you hit some good buzzwords that are the title of this presentation, so I think you're bringing us back full circle there.
That makes a lot of sense.
No, but you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Sorry, Michael.
No, we have a roadmap that is as long as our own. There are initiatives that we want to start from a million different places. We have sort of community needs or requirements that are emerging, and there are simply too many things. Either they'll take a really long time to do all of them, or we need participation and engagement from elsewhere. So I think bringing this back to community involvement would be really handy. If we can get more people in building the thing that they're passionate about, in a way that you can set someone up with and say, hey, well, okay, you work for X, you want feature Y. Well, here's the tools. Like, help us help you to get this in.
We
It
actually
would be a lot faster.
We actually have a couple of examples of community members who have just been passionate about projects, right? And who have reached out and were like, yeah, that's an awesome idea. Let's work together. Let's bring you in onto the team, or even as a contractual worker or somebody who's helping out or consulting in areas. So I won't embarrass them by calling them out right now. And I also don't know their X handles. Maybe Rhys can help us out. But yeah, so that's certainly an example. What about? So we talked. I guess we talked a little bit about some of the upcoming features on our roadmap, but maybe we can talk about a couple of others. So one is, I guess from a priority perspective, we've got LACE V2, which is, again, we kind of beat that to death there.
Well,
and we continue will.
You speak about LACE V2, but we haven't really introduced it in actually, what it is from
That's actually a good point. That's a good point.
the tech perspective. What does this mean for the current version of LACE?
Yeah, we talked about it mostly from a product perspective and what it means for the users, right? You're getting this platform that you can have, or you're getting this application that you can have on multiple platforms. It is multi-chain as well. We're totally revamping the UI in that you're going to have this really awesome portfolio view if you're interested in just seeing an aggregation of all of your assets. But if you don't, then, or if you want some of that fine control, fine detail, you can also set it up such that you're looking at your multiple accounts. Another big theme is about the configuration or customization and configuration. Like we really want to make it feel like your wallet, right? But yeah, anyway, so that's kind of the product angle. But yeah, if you wanted to talk at all about the infrastructure or technology sort of leading up to that, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, yeah. We've taken the approach of trying to have as much common code as possible so that we build once, ship to multiple places with thin layers on top to make that happen. So what we're striving for here is a strategy of building a feature that gets launched across the platform concurrently, and that just makes it it doesn't disadvantage anyone using a particular platform. Everyone has the same experience. And of course, that comes with the sort of limitations that help guide us into a direction that V2 is really a different application to what V1 is, but the advantages are there. And this direction here gives us the ability to, well, it's really the design of the application. In V1, it's a focus on particular blockchains. In V2, extending to other blockchains is more of a routine operation rather than building a new system. Yeah.
Really, really important to hit on is we talk about, you just mentioned this, opening up the borders, right?
Yep.
With the first couple of chains, I think it was, or with Bitcoin, maybe it was, we found some painful points there for Lace. And again, this is, we're trying to have an honest conversation here, right? Like,
Yep.
Lace isn't perfect. We've got things that we want to change, especially into V2. But these subsequent ecosystems that we move into are going to get easier and easier to do. And I think that's, changing the architecture in that way is super important.
So the architecture piece, I guess, feeds into like the when mobile conversation. I guess we can now shift to when V2, and we're very conscious that that's taken a good amount of time.
By the way, this is W-E-N for those listening. This is not W-H-E-N. I feel like that's an important distinction here, but keep going.
Well, so V2 is the combination of some fantastic architectural choices, as you mentioned, Rhys. It's one singular code base that builds across all of the targets of all of the chains that we work for. And if we're taking that big swing for V2, like if you take the concept of what we're trying to build as a palace and not a little house, and if you're trying to build a palace, then you better build pretty big, deep foundations
and sturdy parapets.
Yeah. Parapet?
I'm not sure.
No, that's.
Wait, what are parapets? What are the things on the?
You're building a castle? You're trying to keep people out?
Oh, sorry, a palace.
No,
okay, I want a castle as well.
Anti-castle.
What are the big towers? Whatever. Okay, never mind.
But
no one's supporting this, I don't think.
But I think
this was prep.
But I think the biggest change here is the shift from thinking at that really technical level of accounts, and you have a wallet, to your assets, and it's all about managing assets.
Exactly.
It's looking at assets. Those assets could exist across different chains. You could have the same asset that exists on multiple chains, but really, is it that important which chain it exists on? No, it's more about the asset that you hold, which really leads into the Bitcoin DeFi strategy that we have in progress.
I mean, we have, before we get to Bitcoin DeFi, I love that. Let's get there in a second. I just wanted to mention that what you're describing is for kind of two sets of users, or two different. I mean, there is obviously a spectrum, right? But we want to support people who have never even heard of a blockchain before, and they want to jump into the app. They want to jump into Lace and manage assets. And then we've got the other end of the spectrum where people want to have really, really fine-tuned control over each individual aspect they have. Maybe they have 5 different wallets. They've got 20 accounts in each,
Yep.
and they want to be able to configure each. They want to know exactly where their assets are. Maybe they have a savings account. Maybe they've got a midnight specific one where they are looking into their privacy tokens for various use cases. And so this is kind of you get to decide your path. It's kind of a little bit of a choose your own adventure, but we give you the tools to configure that.
It must be a nightmare for you trying to design a product that fits like all people at all levels on all platforms.
Yeah, I mean, well, thankfully there's an amazing team working on it, and our design team is awesome, and also our community is awesome, and they give us great feedback. We can do some of this testing, so it is certainly a challenge, and a lot of times we're trying to be scrappy and just get releases out there. I mean, I know we've done you guys have done a great job, especially in 2025, to make sure that we have a good release cadence, to make sure that we're getting things out there. Some things have been a little bit delayed as far as, not all of the features we wanted to come out this year came out perfectly, because we have so many resources devoted to this next level, this next V2. So once that happens, then we're going to have a really nice, CI/CD pipeline and things like that. So not that we don't have that now, of course. Yeah, I got us distracted, but we can come back to Bitcoin DeFi if we're interested in talking about that.
Yeah.
Well,
I think Bitcoin DeFi is really surfacing this need to have frictionless experiences across different blockchains. And
do you want to just give an overview of what Bitcoin DeFi is, just from a very, very high level?
Yeah, so Bitcoin DeFi is an experience of bringing Bitcoin across from the Bitcoin network, or BTC across from Bitcoin network, and being able to enable that Bitcoin to then get access to using DeFi protocols to earn some yield or some type of return on the Bitcoin.
Unlocking the liquidity, basically.
Yeah.
Or enabling Bitcoin DeFi, right?
Yeah.
Bitcoin is a store of value. It's not a transactional asset, really.
Yeah.
And if you have that, we want to allow you to hit a toggle and instantly sort of switch and say, hey, now I want to interact. I want to use this asset, but in these various ecosystems, or the DeFi in these various ecosystems.
Yeah, and then just to clarify, Lace here is not doing anything more than just enabling that Bitcoin into a mode that allows it to then participate in DeFi. So the DeFi is like out of our responsibility. It's the where as wallets interoperating with DeFi here, being able to do that with Bitcoin, not just the native assets on the existing chains that we support. That's the goal of Bitcoin DeFi.
Right.
And have an experience that it makes it as seamless as possible, and it highlights this need for a wallet to have an experience that isn't just focused on one chain, because there is it's a multi-chain ecosystem.
So what's interesting is that Bitcoin DeFi is part of this longer initiative that we have around just DeFi in general, right? And being able to access DeFi through Lace and have that be very super seamless. So the first thing that we're doing is we're introducing swaps imminently, right, into Lace, and so that's one aspect, being able to exchange assets. Then we've got the Bitcoin DeFi piece. I mean, this is something that we can use also as a blueprint for potentially other DeFi ecosystems. And then in the longer term, we also we're exploring this topic of
P2P.
Exactly. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think it's important to first note that the DeFi is the idea that finance should be accessible to anyone. It's there to be an option for people who don't have access to traditional finance because of those gatekeepers that are in place. So Lace and wallets are not here to be gatekeepers. We're here to be to be portals to those products, those financial products. And with the current Cardano DeFi, there's still some level of trust that's required in order for a swap to happen. So yes, we're going to be adding support for swaps using the current DeFi options that the ecosystem supports.
Starting with one, right? We're starting with a couple of partners, but we want to be joining, or we want to be working with everybody, right?
Yeah, it's in the same theme as just providing access to the market and the ecosystem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we've said DeFi about 100 times in the last 60
It's
seconds.
true.
And now, if I gave Lace to my mother or father or anybody who's not in the sort of crypto background,
They don't already have it.
DeFi is not something that they're going to know much about. And the idea of, okay, well, you've got your store of your assets that you keep locked in a wallet. Now you're going to do micro lending somewhere else, or even P2P. Having an additional layer of sort of safety net, or am I really lending to who I think I'm lending? I think lends itself to sort of, Lace ID and the next piece that we're looking at there.
Yeah. It also is a good segue into a revamped dApp Explorer experience. So being able to, in that example, knowing where you can potentially interact with some of these dApps that might be, providing rewards or yields or something like that that's outside of Lace, but in a really intuitive way that's inside the wallet. You're not switching to multiple different platforms. You're not getting prompted to sign a transaction and go back here, and and then you see the raw transaction, and that's really scary, right? To see just all those.
Brandon paying you for this?
Yeah, I guess he is.
Embeddable dApps that's the next big move.
Right, and so, but that's part of exactly what you're talking about with, giving this app to your parents, right? Is being able to say, hey, what do you want to do with your assets? Being able to search for that and interact with it. Maybe have some security sort of roadblocks here and there to say, hey, this has been transacted by this many users, or maybe a rating system, or some of these decentralized tools that we can use there.
Yeah. Right, like right now, if you give sort of any wallet to a mobile wallet, you're going to go through like a sort of dApp Explorer that's going to link to a web interface that's going to do a clunky connection protocol. If we can get rid of that, and you can move towards maybe like a more intent-based system, because I'm potentially not that interested about a specific dApp, but I want to see a 5% annualized return on what I have. So lending is appropriate for me, or I want to support
Using an outside.
My intent is to support small businesses to start.
Right.
Find me a bunch of pools or protocols that'll work for that, rather than specifics about dApp interaction. The intent of what the wallet user wants to do, I think, is the important thing.
Got it. So unfortunately, we didn't get all the way back to peer-to-peer DeFi or some of these really exciting DeFi initiatives we got. I have been alerted that we have 1 minute left, and I just wanted to say that if any of this piqued your interest, or if you're interested in working with us, or you just want to drop us a note, please do. I think one thing that Lace prides itself on is that this is really for the community, it's for the users, and we are trying every day to make sure that what we are building always ties back to bringing value to the users. And bear with us if we kind of went on a squirrely, crazy sort of conversation line today, but that's the point, and hopefully you feel a little bit closer to the team or what we're working on. We'll do more of these. We do AMAs on X, on Discord, so please reach out to us. You can start by going to lace.io. But otherwise, thank you guys. Anything you wanted to wrap up with?
No, I think we're good, Ian. Let's just continue the conversation in Discord.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Cool. Rhys, Michael, thank you very much. My name's Ian again, and really appreciate everyone who tuned in.
Thanks.